There's something that has really been on my mind lately. When God sends you to do something, when God is telling you to say something, to do something, you should go and do it, really. From what I've been learning, it was a man that doubted his spiritual gifts, and he wasn't able to speak no more because he doubted. So that has really been on my mind. I've been to 3 different churches for this month. I've been through 3 different churches, and I've been asking the same question, and before even asking the question that I have to ask or that I have in mind, they start speaking about it. So what I'm trying to say here is that you will always have confirmations that you have to speak about a certain topic. And if God is telling you, stand up and ask, stand up and question it, stand up and say this, you do it. You have to do it. Because yeah, you could go to church, you could get baptized, you could read the Bible, but what are you doing about it? What are you doing about it? And I'm saying this inspired by a man in church that actually questioned it. And you know what? I loved it. The last talk that we had was from that man. He was like, so I got baptized, so I read the Bible, I've been coming to church, but what are you doing about it? What do I do next? And I was like, that's such an amazing question. And most people are scared to ask that. Churches, religion are made to keep you on a cage. They don't want you speaking out of the box, because then they're like, they're all supposed to be NPCs. They're not supposed to be even asking that. When someone asks that, you even see the leader get confused or get offended. If you feel that you have to stand up and talk, even if you're terrified that they're gonna hate you, you stand up and you do it, because that's what God is telling you to do. Not only get baptized, not only go to church, not do all of this, yeah, do all of that. And then what are you doing about it? Going to church, reading the same thing all over and over again? Why does history matter when you're not even applying it to your daily life? And then you think apply it to your daily life is praying. That's not all. It also means if you have something that you need to speak up on about in church, even if people are gonna judge you, you stand up and you do it. I'm gonna tell you what happened to me that day that I'm telling you guys about. For weeks we've been talking about and we've been questioning the rapture, Jesus' second coming. And ever since we questioned that to ourselves and alone, we were talking alone, just talking, questioning, which questioning is good. You're stepping out of the system, you're stepping out of the matrix, you're stepping out of the physics, you're stepping out of the 3D into the 5D, into the 4D. That's what Jesus wanted. Jesus did not like religion. This image really kept playing before arriving to church. I had seen a movie about Jesus a long time ago, but that day it was replaying on my head. Jesus had walked in where there was like a lot of I guess a lot of other men that were like in a religion or something like that. He came in and he told them something, like he said it's this and that. I don't remember exactly, but that image kept replaying. When I got to church, we sat down, and for a while I started feeling horrible in a way that I had to speak up. I was like, God, please, no, they're gonna hate me. I cannot say this here. It's a church. They're gonna hate me. They're gonna think I'm possessed or whatever. God gave me the perfect words to speak up and talk. There was this guy in the Bible. Well, it was the time that they all claimed to follow and agree and like Jesus, but when Jesus came in to this place and spoke the truth, everyone got mad at him. When they supposedly followed him, they got mad at him. They hated him. They called him possessed by the devil. They call him all of these names, all right? And it was so bad that their anger became a type of anger that they wanted to kill him, right? So when they said that, it was more of a confirmation that I had to speak up and talk about what I knew I had to stand up and talk about in front of everyone, I'll do it. But they might get really pissed at me because you're stepping out of the box saying this in a religious Christian church, you know? Which I loved that for some reason that day that I was there was another man in the back questioning a lot of things as well, because they were talking about the poor, how Jesus helped the poor. He was like, I wonder why does it keep saying Evangelio a los pobres? So he asked it, why to the poor? Why is it to the poor if they also help the rich people? And like, I love that question because I've always had that question. I started getting the answer, but the way that he asked it was perfect. And that's the thing, you get confirmations, because before he even stood up and asked that, I was already asking myself that. And I already got the answer as soon as I was thinking it. It doesn't mean poor by what they had or what they didn't have. It meant poor by mentality and spirituality. Someone that's depressed, someone that's doing bad, you know, that their frequency is low. That's what it truly means, that Jesus helped the poor. And for us that do have to give to the poor, and that means to help the poor. And what are you doing when you stand up and you talk about what God is telling you to talk about, even if that in that place they're gonna hate you for speaking the truth? Guess what? Jesus did that. So when that other man stood up, I was already feeling so hot all over my body. And if this has happened to you, you know what I'm talking about. My head was about to explode. My body was getting tense. It was an anxiety 10 times worse than any other time. My heart literally was about to explode. It went to my mind like, didn't you say you were gonna submerge yourself to me? You were gonna let yourself be guided by me? So why are you doubting? Then I started thinking about the story of the guy that couldn't speak no more because he doubted, and I was like, God, no, I don't want that to happen to me. God gives you the perfect timing to everything. He stood up and he asked. My question is just, why did they get mad if they claimed to adore Jesus? Why did they get mad? This is a moment. I put my hand up and I was like, God, guide my words. I stood up. Okay, you could go, they said. I was like, I said it in Spanish, by the way. Just like the question that he asked, why did they get mad? Let's say that right now, a man walks in and he's telling us that something is gonna happen or that something is wrong. How many of us would get mad right now? And I was like, here they go, they're gonna hate me. I sat down and they were like, first of all, in the church it says that there could not be any more something that in the Bible, like that what was written in the Bible, that's it. Like there's no more less. There's no more or less. Basically what they said is that another man could not walk in and tell us that right now because we're basically doing the right thing. That's what they used to think back in the day too. And when Jesus walked in, they hated him because he spoke the truth. Jesus did not like religion because religion is false. Religion is making you seek out for a God that's out there when in reality you're here. Right now you could tap into the Christ consciousness. And what does the Bible make you think that you just have to adore? That the Bible was talking about how Jesus was, when in reality Jesus was trying to show us how we are, with the things that we could do too. Then people started saying, yeah, they started agreeing right away with the pastor. And I was like, they all look like cheaps. And that's exactly the thing that they call them, the pastor and the cheaps. They cannot step out of the box, because if they do, you're stepping out of the matrix. What are you doing? Why are you not following the script? What's going on? There's no more, a man cannot walk in right now. And they're like, well, and then the pastor said, well, If a man did came in right now and he spoke, I would hear him out. I would let him talk. But here in the Bible it says, I'm like, so then they started talking, and then I put my hand up again. I'm like, God, here we go again. They're gonna get pissed off at me. Why do I have to do this? Just do it. Just do it. Just do it. Just do it. And if I didn't do it, my body will start feeling horrible again. Like really, like that. Like horrible. Picked up my hand. They're probably annoyed at this point. So how would we know when Jesus will come back again? That's been the question that I've been asking in every church. They don't even have an opinion for themselves. They just go along with but the Bible says this. Yeah, so supposedly if the Bible says that there cannot be like any more, then that's it. But that Jesus Christ is going to come back. And I keep asking, is this spiritually or is this physically? Or is it spiritually that we have to materialize it? Then it will happen. It will materialize once we truly tap into reality that it's happening right now. The rapture is happening right now. And there's a lot of signs. That's why I was like, okay, but the signs are already showing. We've been through that earthquake spiritually. We were all shaken up. A lot of us woke up. That topic about the rapture has really, really been on my mind. Me and my aunt have been talking about it. It has really been on every church that we go. When we go with a question, we go to the church and they are specifically talking about that. And the other pastor stands up and he was like, okay, I have something that I want to talk about, the question that she asked. But nowadays they do holograms. He was talking to the other pastor. Nowadays they do holograms, and they are saying that they're going to do a fake Jesus Christ. So how would we know? And I was like, thank you. I thought he was about to attack me, not gonna lie. I was like, this one's gonna be good. But no, he was like, so how would we know? The pastor at front was like, well, only God knows. Yeah, but then what are we doing in church then? If you're saying that we're supposed to apply that to the daily life, what's in the Bible, then why are you now saying that only God knows? God is within us. So imagine your whole life you're waiting for Jesus Christ to come back and you're like, well, only God knows. What if you stay there just waiting, because you're always in a mindset of waiting. So you're always going to be waiting and it's not going to materialize for you. But if you open your eyes and you start questioning things, you start seeing the reality, you start seeing what's truly going on right now. What are you feeling? Not even only physically are there signs, but spiritually. Just like baptism. Baptism didn't mean truly physical water. It meant submerging yourself. It meant submerging yourself fully into the presence of God. Trusting, having faith. Remember that the highest form of showing that you trust God is when you love yourself, when you trust yourself. Because when you are trusting yourself, when you believe in yourself, when you love and appreciate yourself, that's when you are appreciating God. God created all of us. So now I'm there like, they're saying this, but then they're saying that. How is it making sense? It's truly not making sense to me, because to me this seems like they're just saying one thing and then another person says something and they're just like collapsing. It doesn't make sense at the end of it all. So then it's like, is it gonna happen spiritually? Jesus Christ second coming, is it spiritually? Or does it have to be spiritually and all of us to open our eyes for it to materialize and truly happen physically? Or is it just spiritually and we're truly going through it by tapping into the Christ consciousness? I would love to hear your opinion. I'm not religious. I don't claim to be religious at all. I do go to churches. I love learning. I love hearing people out. I love seeing different perspectives. But also when I feel that I need to speak about something, I do it. And if you do too, do it. If in church you feel like you have to stand up and say something, even if you feel horrible, stand up and do it. Trust yourself. Trust that God has your words. Trust that God is guiding your words to be perfectly aligned. And if you're questioning, should I say it? If there's an entrance where someone questions it and you were thinking about that and you have the answer for that, stand up. Don't be afraid. Do not be afraid. Be bold. Be strong. Do it. And all of it doesn't mean like, oh, like I'm so rough. No, it means when you are bold, you are trusting yourself. When you are trusting yourself, you are being the bravest person out there. And my respects to you if you stand up and you speak what you have to speak. I was really excited to share here with you guys what's truly been going on. Some events are definitely going on, and I know if you are watching this video, we could feel it. Something is happening in the world. We're gonna start having more clarity throughout time, or whatever, when you decide to have clarity, I mean, but I feel like we're already seeing a lot of signs. I would love to hear other people's opinions as well. Thank you for watching. I love you.